All right, welcome everybody. I am with Zach Lona today. He's a buddy of mine and a fellow filmmaker, and I'm really excited to hear about his latest film and the super cool way that he is distributing and selling it. Zach, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Zach. Thanks for having me on, Chris. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a filmmaker here in Chicago, and I'm the director of the first feature film that's ever released as a one out of one non-fungible token on the blockchain.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Can you tell us about your film?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called He Who Lives in Hidden Lakes, and it's a kind of adventure mystery mockumentary about a cult, a cult, a cop, and a mystic who are on the search for a cryptid called the Hidden Man in their town of Hidden Lakes, and hilarity and trippy psychedelic stuff ensues. We premiered at Midwest Weird Fest in Eau Claire, Wisconsin in March, and we took home best experimental feature. So big ups to them. Appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah. How'd you come up with the idea of the movie?
It was kind of interesting because the hidden man character, the idea, the monster, the kind of joke is that it might be a monster, or it might be just a guy spiraled out of control from there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Can you tell me about the production?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy actually. We shot for 10 days straight in the woods. Like 90% of the movie was in the woods. And I don't recommend ever shooting a movie in the woods because your budget for bug spray has to be about 20% of the money you're spending.
Wow.
So God bless my cast and crew for hanging in there as they did. It was actually a pretty large shoot as far as indies or self-produced indies are concerned. So
Mhm.
it was a huge undertaking. It was mostly shot in the suburbs, and yeah, it was it was done really fast.
Mhm. Nice. That's awesome. How did you raise funding?
Excuse me. Just my personal savings.
Mm,
It was just money I had saved up from working at that job. So
yeah.
I wish I wish I could give people more information about the best way to raise a movie budget, but my strategy is just sock away money, self finance.
That's a wise strategy and typically the best one, I think, the most consistent.
You got the most creative control with it too. You got no one telling you what to do.
Yeah, yeah. And so did you take off work or are you already like an independent contractor or how did that work?
Yeah, so I took paid time off to actually shoot it, but then I was editing it as well. So
Hmm.
in order to sort of meet the deadlines that I wanted for the project, I had to go to my job and say, look, this is what I want to do, and I'm prepared to quit and kind of this is I have to focus on this. So they were actually very flexible, and I went to more of a part-time contractor role after that, and I'm still doing that today. So I've been very fortunate on that line. But yeah, I did. I was pretty much editing full time for like 9 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow. Um, that takes some balls, my friend. Hat is tipped to you, sir.
appreciate that, my friend.
I'm not surprised at all to hear that you did that. After knowing you for a couple years now. Um,
Gotta do what we gotta do, I guess.
Hell yeah, man, love it. Can you tell us about the edit? Nine months of full time editing, man. That's hardcore.
Yeah. Well, actually, I might. I'm not sure if it was actually not. It was in post production for around that time. The
Hmm.
edit was I. It's such a blur. Like the whole period from like July 2019 to April. Oh no, August 2020 is just like a blur because that's exactly what I was doing.
Mhm.
But it's funny. I was actually living the quarantine lifestyle since July 2019 because I
Oh
was
no.
having to lock myself in my room, and the only times I left was to go to the grocery store and go to the gym.
Wow.
Like hang out with people, but I was just laser focused on that. So I've I've been living the quarantine lifestyle for maybe a little bit longer than a lot of people have. But
Wow.
yeah, it was the first time the first big editing project I'd done, and it was just a matter of like feeling it out, just kind of following my intuition in terms of the pacing and the timing of everything, and
Mhm.
just making sure that it kind of spoke to my my original conception and my sort of vision for how the film should feel and how it should be paced and cut together.
Mhm. That's awesome, man. How do you any tips on how to stay sane during insanely hardcore laser focused edit?
um, I don't know if I don't even know if I stayed sane, honestly. No, I'm a big meditator. I meditate a lot. I do
Nice.
transcendental meditation, which I actually found from David Lynch, who's a hero of mine.
Mm,
So I practice that, and that is actually a big help for staying sane, just in any context, really. It's a
mhm.
good skill to have, and you don't need to do transcendental meditation. You can do any kind of meditation, but
Yeah.
trying to stay active, getting out of the house, going for a lot of walks, especially because it was quarantine too. So that at that point, you couldn't really do much outside your house. So
Yeah.
making sure to like go out and get sunlight, and remember to hit up people, talk to your friends and family, and you know uh, make sure that you're not neglecting them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Can you share kind of just like your meditation style real quick? Or
Yeah.
like
So
how you do it?
uh, tr- yeah, transcendental meditation is like very specific technique, and it's a mantra based technique. And what happens is when you sign up to learn the process of it, you go to the transcendental meditation offices. They've got an office here in Chicago. I'm not sure if they're actually open right now, but they give you a mantra, and I can't tell you what the mantra is. It's kind of the secret sauce where I don't know if everyone gets the same mantra or it's specific to you. No one really knows. It doesn't really matter because what it is it's basically just a sound that isn't really a word in any language that you repeat in your head while you're meditating. Excuse me, and that sort of is the tool to bring you down into a deeper, more meditative state of consciousness. And it's really David Lynch describes it as as an ocean of consciousness that you get um, kind of you dive into, and that's really a good way to sort of describe the sensation because it's a very specific sensation, and it's super relaxing, and it just like really brings you in, recenters you on yourself.
Hmm. Hmm. Kind of like the universal consciousness.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Like the universe, it's like a wavelength. It's like
Yeah,
that's how I describe it. That's how it feels to me. It's like you're
yeah.
in tune with a harmonizing wavelength. It's really cool.
That's
Definitely recommend it.
um how long did it take you how long did you practice to be able to access that sea of consciousness?
That's the thing too, is that once they teach you, it's sort of it's they say it's immediate, although it varies from person to person. Like it took me like a week or two to really kind of get out of my own way
Mhm.
in repeating the mantra to myself. And after that point, I was just really able to pretty much consistently access that state of being, because daily you do it 20 minutes 2 times a day, and that's sort of the cadence you're supposed to keep for it. I'm not always super consistent with it on like to that level, but there are people who are like, I've been doing twice a day for 20 minutes for like 40 years. So
Yeah, because I do the Wim Hof meditation like once or twice a day.
Oh yeah.
and it definitely helps. And all, some really profound ideas and insights and thoughts will like kind of pop out. But it's rare for me to feel like I'm accessing that kind of like sea of consciousness. I wish I could get there more.
Yeah, yeah. The TM stuff is like a pretty reliable way to access
Mm.
that. But I've heard of Wim Hof, and it's like a breathing technique, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I've been meaning to get into it.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Did how did the meditation kind of affect the edit and the production? Did that
Hmm.
present insights or
That's actually an interesting question that I hadn't considered before, because some of the thematic stuff that I work with on the concept of the film is that it's sort of mapping a the life cycle of a meme, an idea. The Hidden Man, he's like this shared kind of story that the people in the town tell each other, and everyone has a sort of different take on what the Hidden Man actually is, and that's really the point of the whole movie. A lot of the underlying themes deal with like the collective consciousness and sort of how things are transferred through consciousness as ideas. And again, to me, the meditation practice sort of informs that, because I started doing transcendental meditation around the same time that I initially had that first germ of the idea that I told you about, with the origin of the Hidden Man itself. So it yeah, that's a good question, because I hadn't really considered the implication of those two things coming in together and developing alongside each other before. But now that you mentioned it, it's pretty closely related as far
yeah,
as the conceptual underpinnings of the film and how that fits into my experience with the meditation technique.
yeah. I noticed that if I'm struggling with a problem, business wise, creative wise, life wise, anything wise, I'll usually get a potential solution after a meditation session and then after I sleep. So it's like kind of like turning off your, I guess, your ego or your like most um, close mind and just letting all the shit underneath it figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah, I have very similar experiences in the hypnagogic state, when like that state when you're like, after you're in bed and you're going to sleep, but before you actually fall asleep, that's where I like solve all of the problems that I ever have. It's just, okay, I, I'm burnt out for the day. Let's go to bed. And then in that like 15-minute period when you're going to sleep, but you're still kind of like aware and conscious, that's when it's like, oh, got to bring out the phone notes. Got to take down
Yeah,
whatever I had, and then all right, there's the to-do item for tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah, I've almost come to the conclusion that all bad movies or bad business ideas are the result of, not taking enough time to let your unconscious mind solve all the problems before you release it.
Dude, that I would super hard agree with that. That because when you're doing these kinds of things, whether it's a film or a business or something like that, there's a tendency to be very literalistic and sort of in the surface level of consciousness, where you're kind of wrapped up in your own head, and maybe you're getting really you're losing perspective, really. And
Mhm.
the big goal for these kinds of endeavors should be to um, self-actualize and solve a problem for people who might be having a problem, whether it's they want to be entertained by a film, or they have this need that you're fulfilling. It's really important to be able to take a step back and return to that initial idea that you had that set you off onto the thing in the first place.
Mhm. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's get to the really kind of exciting, cool thing that you're doing to distribute and sell this. So you're selling the movie as an NFT, a non-fungible token.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so really quick, the rundown of the non-fungible token, if you don't know what that means. Essentially, that's a way to verify digital ownership of a digital item on the blockchain. So the blockchain is a public ledger. Anyone can go access it. If you own an NFT and it's in your cryptocurrency wallet, everyone can verify that that NFT is in your wallet and you own it. So it's a huge game changer for trading physical, or no, excuse me, digital items. But the thing is, you can also really it's really just a certificate of authenticity. You can make it mean whatever you want it to make it mean. You can sell whatever you want to sell with it. So for a lot of people, that's like, I want to sell a JPEG associated with this NFT. For there was some guy who sold his Tesla truck pre-order, one of 8,000, as an NFT. So what we're doing is, my movie is the first one of one edition movie sold as an NFT. Now there have been movies sold uh, with an edition of 1,000 world premieres. Someone did that, or like an edition of 1,000 shares of the film itself. People have crowdfunded with NFTs, but we are the first one of one fine art edition of a feature length movie sold as an NFT. So that's really cool and historic on its own. And Kevin Smith announced something similar this week, which is why we pulled the trigger on this. But what he's doing is he's essentially just selling the paperwork to his movie. So someone, presumably a studio, will buy his NFT and they'll have to distribute it themselves. What we're doing is I'm distributing the movie itself once the NFT sells. So the owner will receive a beautiful, lossless fine art version of the film, and they will also be entitled to 50% of my company's gross streaming revenue during their ownership. So once the token sells, I'm going to put it up on through Film Hub, and they're going to get it on Tubi and Amazon Prime and these things. And then the NFT owner will be able to capitalize a passive income stream of 50, and then everyone sees it. The movie gets super popular, and they make a lot of money off of it. We make a lot of money off of it, and then the physical fine art edition of the movie can also potentially be resold at a profit on the fine art secondary market. So
Mhm.
this is a super powerful model for independent film distribution. It's completely new, and it's very experimental. So I'll keep you updated on if it sells, when it sells, and we'll go from there, because it could not sell. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we'll
Uh,
find out.
Awesome. And for our listeners who might be interested in purchasing it, where should they go?
Yeah, it's on a NFT marketplace called OpenSea. And if you search "He Who Lives in Hidden Lakes" on OpenSea, our marketplace will be right there. You'll be able to see our auction listing. It's currently going for 43 Ether. That's our minimum bid, which is equivalent to about $100,000 USD.
Mhm. Nice. And that's open sea as in like the ocean?
Yeah, yeah, SEA.
Hmm. Okay, awesome. Awesome, man. And where can people hear more about you?
Follow me on Twitter at Zach Lona, ZACHLONA. Instagram, same thing, but there's a period in between Zach and Lona. And yeah, those are my main two platforms. Email me at hiddenlakesmovie at gmail.com if you're interested in buying the token and you want to see the film before you buy it. Available there too.
Awesome. Well, this is so exciting, man, and I'm really rooting for you, I'm stoked, dude. Like I really like I hope it works out awesome, but I think regardless of the outcome, this is just like such a cool thing to do.
I'm glad you think so, Chris. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. All right, let's stay in touch, man, and great to catch up with you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a great day.